Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien speaking on Tuesday, May 7th. Bubba is over here waiting for his friend the Blue Jay and trying to figure out how to get tap going here. Uh, you know, but we got a serious situation here that Bubba was going to tell you about, and I got to do a video on it. So the serious situation is we're heading towards a constitutional crisis and a military crisis and probably an economic crisis. And here is the problem, Americans. You guys will be the usual ostrich with your head in the sand, I guess, if that's the way to say it. And I mean that in a nice way, because you've always been that for the last 100 and some years. You've been putting your head on the sand and letting your representatives kick the can down the road. Where the problem is, you got to a point here where all the cans that you kicked ever since you started being the United States back in 1776 have all accumulated here, and it's going to be, oh, how would you say, explosive is the word I'm using here. So let me tell you why you got a constitutional crisis. Number one, those dum-dums, otherwise known as Democrats, missed their mark. And they should realize that they missed their mark. They should have gotten President Trump, like I said, a long time ago, back in 2017, when he first fired Acting Attorney General Sally Yates. That was one of the key ingredients that would have caught them either an abuse of power or obstruction of justice. And any court would have said that. It's too late now. And, they could also have got him for other issues in the early 2017. But no, you waited. And then you relied on Mueller. His report was never going to be anything like that, and now you're backtracking. Now you're asking for contempt of Congress because the Attorney General won't cooperate. He shouldn't cooperate with you. And now you're asking for contempt of Congress from the Secretary of the Treasury because he's not giving you the tax returns. Well, Trump told you to go stick it way back in his campaign days, remember? And by the way, that's just modern day. It's only in the last 40 years that presidents have reluctantly given the tax returns to you guys. And what does that prove? Nothing. Do you want to give your tax returns so I can see them? No, you wouldn't do that, would you? So you see, that's the problem, Americans. Your so-called dum-dums, Democrats. And by the way, Democrats, your independents are walking away from you because of all this. Because you know that Trump is going to be doing let's hold him off in court, get the election, and I'll win the election, and he will, because he's got the deplorables. And the independents are backing off you. And you got some of the Democrats that are going his side. Not mine, maybe 5-10% maybe, or 12. But 12% of you Democrats voting for Trump, and you take another, say, 9-10% of your independents backing away from you guys, and you got a problem, Democrats, big time. That's the constitutional crisis. Supreme Court will get involved in this, and if you keep on doing these contempt of Congress's House, Pelosi, you better talk to your House members and tell them to stay away from this. Anyway, that's number one. Number two, military action. Iran is like a Wolverine cornered. And the United States has pressed him on all three sides. So Trump doesn't know what he's dealing with. He doesn't understand the Wolverine. You guys that are from the Midwest and Canada, you know about the Wolverine, so please explain that to the president, will you? And number three, economic crisis. China thinks that they can play ball with the United States. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But who's going to blink first? I'm pretty sure you guys are, because you got overconsumption on this country. Way too much consumption. Other countries in the world don't have this much consumption. Until you guys realize that, you got a problem. So this is your favorite alien saying, you got a three-pronged situation here, Americans, and you guys are going to put your heads in the sand and not even look at it. Coming from another planet, I can tell you, this destroyed my ancestral planet. These three ingredients that you got right now, constitutional crisis, economic crisis, and political crisis, and military. All these crises destroyed my ancestral planet. They blew themselves up. And they didn't have nuclear weapons. They had something worse. They had antimatter weapons. Do you want to go that route? This is your favorite alien signing off.